Hey, what's up guys? So in this video we're going to be taking a look at the updated version of the BlendMount called the BlendMount R Series. The R Series is basically an updated and more refined version of the original BlendMount. Now I've done a review already of the original version of the BlendMount. If you want to watch that, you can just click on the box right up here in the top right hand corner and you can watch my review of the original version. Basically what they've done here is they've made a number of nice changes to improve some of the issues that we saw with the previous version and just create a better experience overall. Now for those of you guys who aren't familiar with the BlendMount, it's basically a custom third-party mount designed to actually mount your radar detector underneath your rear view mirror. So if you don't want to have to deal with suction cups, and your detector falling off your windshield, or if you live in a state where it's actually illegal to mount a radar detector or a GPS or anything else to your windshield, this is a good alternative. Now, taking a look at this guy, it's not a huge night and day, radical difference compared to the old version. It's basically kind of an updated version of the previous BlendMount. The biggest change that you'll see looking at this new version is that there's now a third section in the middle, kind of a middle section, which allows more adjustability and placement options with the new version of the BlendMount. You see, with the previous version, one of the issues that they were seeing was when somebody was using a GPS-based detector like a Max 2, Max 360, GT7, something like that, when the radar detector was actually placed right underneath the rearview mirror, it actually was a problem for the GPS chip inside the detector, and the GPS functionality didn't work all that well. So one of the things that they've done here with the new version of this mount is that they've actually moved the radar detector closer to the windshield and out from underneath the rearview mirror. That way the GPS chip has a better view of the sky and it can work better in that way. So for those of you guys who are running a Max series detector or any detector where you're having problems with GPS, this new version should address this issue. Now with this new placement option, you can actually move the detector farther away from you and closer to the windshield. You can also remove this middle section, kind of an extension section, and make it similar to the original version of the BlendMount and actually mount it closer to you and away from the windshield. So you do have some options as far as how you want to mount it. If you mount it closer to you, it's going to be just like the original version of the BlendMount. Now there is one difference that I found running it, in the short configuration versus the original BlendMount. The original BlendMount, because the bottom section was actually a little bit larger, there was more room to actually move the detector up and down. With the shorter version, you do still have the ability to raise and lower the detector and adjust the placement, but because this smaller section is, well, smaller, you have about a 1/4 inch of travel, as opposed to the previous version where you had, I forget how much it is, like 1/2 inch or something, but you actually had more room to actually travel up and down, which was nice to have, placement for your fingers or whatever. One of the nice things about the BlendMount is even if it's close to your rearview mirror or whatever, you can actually pull the detector down so you get access to the buttons on top and whatnot. But when the BlendMount is in the short configuration like this, you do still have some adjustability, but not as much as you did with the previous version. However, if you want the extra length for whatever reason due to the design of your car, you can always take that middle section, pop it back in, and now you've got more extension that way. So you can actually have it set up with a longer extension if you want that. Now this middle extension bar on the side of it also has a little screw hole, and this screw hole allows you to mount different accessories such as a Mobius action cam. So if you want to run that action cam, as a dash cam, you can actually attach it directly to your BlendMount, so you can have both the radar detector and the dash cam mounted to the BlendMount, which is really nice. Now, speaking of dash cams, something that I saw when I was running it, when you have it mounted with that middle section enabled, it actually moves the radar detector closer to the windshield, right? And if you have a dash cam in that area, it can actually get in the way of the placement of the dash cam. And either, maybe you can't mount it there because you have a dash cam, or even if you can, you're actually going to kind of struggle to actually use the spring clip to, mount and unmount your radar detector. Something else that I found helpful is I'm actually running a couple different dash cams at the same time, and I found that depending on where you have your dash cam mounted may actually be beneficial. One of my dash cams I had mounted over on the driver's side of my rearview mirror, and over there it wasn't actually an issue to run the BlendMount at the same time. But to have a dash cam that was basically right under my rearview mirror did actually interfere with this new version, and so I had to, if I want to run that dash cam, I would have to either run it really low, extended, or I would have to run it in the short configuration. So anyways, with this one, you do have more, placement options as far as how you want to actually run it, depending on what detector you're running, what dash cam you have, where you have it mounted, what car you have. So as you can see, you've got more placement options than you had with the previous version. they're also adding some more mounts for different detectors. So for example, for those of you guys running a Redenso Pro or a Redenso Pro SE, there is now a bracket that allows you to connect those detectors to your blend mount. For those of you guys running a Uniden detector like the LRD950 or the DFR7, they don't have a Uniden specific bracket, but it turns out one of the members on RDF actually found out that if you get the K40 bracket for the blend mount, the Uniden detectors can actually mount directly to that. So for those of you guys running a Uniden detector, get the K40 bracket, and that's the one that'll work for your detector. For those of you guys running a detector that's been out for a while, like an Escort detector or one of the Maxes or a V1 or something like that, those brackets have been out for a long time. Now, another thing that's been changed is the clamp that actually goes around your rear view mirror stem has been changed. It's now more sleek and thin, and I think it looks a little bit better. They've also changed kind of the padding that goes in between that clamp and your rear view mirror stem. If the stem of your rear view mirror is kind of thin, you can actually have this extra padding just to create some thickness so that the clamp can work properly. Before, it used to be kind of this single strip of padding, like a bushing strip. What they've done now is there's now two little holes on either side of the clamp, and you can insert this removable nylon bushing, which just has like a cleaner and kind of more professional look to it. Not just a piece of padding that you stick in there, but it's like a piece that's actually designed for it, you know? So it's a little touch, but I like the kind of more professional experience, and I like, you know, the way it kind of goes in and goes out. It's a little bit nicer than just the piece of padding. Another change that's been made, this is actually one of my favorite things, is not actually the change to the blend mount, but to the mirror tap cables that you can get with it. See, when you've got your detector mounted under your rearview mirror, one of the most convenient places to power your detector is actually off the rearview mirror itself. If your rearview mirror is powered, you've got, you know, HomeLink garage door openers, you've got auto dimming mirror or a compass or something. If you have a powered rearview mirror, you can plug your radar detector into your rearview mirror using this short mirror tap cable. It's a lot more convenient than, you know, having to run a hardwire cable all the way through your car into your fuse box, or especially, you know, running a cigarette lighter cable down, you know, right down the front of your car. So that's a much cleaner installation option. Now, one of the issues with the previous version of the mirror tap was there were a couple different versions of the mirror tap depending on what size taps you need to actually plug into your rear view mirror. Some had bigger connectors, some had smaller connectors, depending on what you need for your particular car, so you had to order the right one, and hopefully you get it right, otherwise it won't work, you know? What they've done with this new one is now it's like a universal type of mirror tap, meaning you have this kind of universal mirror tap cable, and then you have a whole bunch of different removable connectors, and you get all of them with the package. And then you can actually find the right one that fits your car and then connect that to the mirror tap cable, so it makes it a lot easier to actually order the right type and not make any mistakes, you know, hope you don't get the wrong one and then you can't use it, you know. So this actually makes it a lot nicer to actually find the correct ones and install it into your car. Additionally, when you're using a voltmeter up there to, you know, figure out which pins you need to connect to in your rear view mirror, with these guys you can actually use the mirror taps as little probes, and it makes it a lot easier when you're having to go back there with the voltmeter to find the correct power source to actually power your radar detector. So for those reasons, I actually like this new power cable quite a lot. I think that's actually a really nice improvement as well. Now, as far as the blend mount version that I tested, I was testing kind of the standard version, kind of the generic one that's compatible with most cars. They also do have some specialty mounts for those of you guys who drive European cars like Audis, Porsches, BMWs, stuff like that. Even, you know, Corvettes and Camaros, etc. Some of the cars actually do require a special custom mount that they make as well. I don't have one of those because I don't really need one for myself, but for those of you guys who want one of those are available as well. And if you follow the link in the video description, it'll take you down to the standard one as well as where you can find the specialty ones if your car happens to require it. So as you can see, it's not like a revolutionary, massive, radical change, right? It's just some refinements. Like basically there's this new middle section which gives you more options to mount your detector in different locations, especially if you have a GPS-based one. You have the ability to attach a dash cam to it. You've got more placement options as far as the height of the detector in different locations. The power cable has been improved. The clamp has been improved. So it's a whole bunch of little refinements like that. For those of you guys who already have the previous version of the blend mount, I wouldn't say it's something that you need to like go out and get the next version immediately, you know. However, unless maybe you've got one of the Max detectors and you've got that GPS issue where your GPS doesn't work very well when it's mounted on the blend mount, if that's the case, you may actually want to upgrade to the new version, you know, like sell your previous one on eBay or something and, you know, pick up this new version online. I'll put the link in the video description to where you can get it. For those of you guys who don't have one yet and you want to go ahead and get one, this looks like it's a nice improvement. The previous one has been discontinued, and so when you go and order now, you're going to get the this new R Series version of the BlendMount. So this is the one that's now being sold on BlendMount's website. Now, that link that I mentioned in the video description, it will take you to a coupon. So if you're looking to get one of these, it does cost a couple bucks, and if you click on that link, it'll actually give you a discount coupon to save you guys some cash. Plus, it does support me as well, so everybody wins, right? So go ahead and take a look at that, and if you guys want to go ahead and pick up a new version of the BlendMount, these are the new changes that I've seen running it myself, and that's where you guys can pick one up as well. So for those of you guys who are already running one, let me know kind of your take on things, how you like it, pros and cons, your opinion, your experiences. I definitely love to hear kind of what you guys are experiencing as well. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer, or somebody else who maybe has even more experience with these can chime in as well, you know? So anyways, there you go. There's a look at the updated version of the BlendMount called the R Series. As you can see, it's got some nice tweaks and improvements above and beyond the previous version of the BlendMount, and that's pretty much my take on things. So awesome. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video, and until the next one, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.